Hi everyone, welcome back to my YouTube channel. My name is Meredith Phillips. I'm a writer, reader, and bunny mama. It's October, which means it's time for Preptober, and I am so excited. By the time this video goes up, I have definitely already been working on plans for the last week or so. I cannot wait for Nano to get started, and I am beyond ready for it to be October so we can start prepping for Nano. I love this time of year. There's so much encouragement and motivation, even if you're not planning to participate in NaNoWriMo and try to get the 50,000 words during November. I think there's still so much value that is shared within the writing community during this time. It's just a great time to get plugged in and connected to other writers and to be motivated and encouraged to do your own work. So in today's video, I wanted to share with you what my Preptober plans are, what I want to accomplish by the end of the month, and how I plan to accomplish those things. I know some people don't do any kind of prep work. They just start writing on November 1st. So if that's you, that's fine. I think that a little bit of prep work can set you up for success during November. So I would encourage you to do a little bit of prep work, some kind of brainstorming, brain dumping, something, so that you're not sort of floundering about when November gets started. So I have 3 goals for Preptober that I want to share with you, and then I'm going to also share how I plan to accomplish those things within the next month. The first goal I have is to have a completed outline following the Save the Cat / Romancing the Beat sheets. Now, when I say completed outline, I do not mean having every single scene and knowing the character arcs within each scene and the entire dynamic of the scene. I'm not talking like super detailed, but just a real general outline of the story events, the character arcs, just in general. Because one of the things that I've found if I just sort of pants my way through a novel is I end up writing myself into a corner and then I can't figure out where to go and it's a mess. So having some kind of outline, even if it's not super structured, is really helpful for me during Nano, and that is what I want to have by the end of October. If you are not familiar with Save the Cat, there are already a ton of videos about Save the Cat and about that method here on YouTube. You can also, of course, check out the book. There are 2 sort of versions of the book. The original Save the Cat by Blake Snyder is written for screenwriters. Of course, screenwriting for TV or movies or that kind of platform is still going to be really similar to novel writing. You're still telling a story, and a lot of those elements are going to be the same regardless of what platform you're telling the story on. However, a couple years back, Jessica Brody published her own version of Save the Cat that is specifically for novelists. So that is the copy I have. I've previously read Blake Snyder's book, which was also very helpful. So if you can get your hands on this copy, or if your library maybe only has the original version, I think either one will be very helpful for you if you've never read it before. Now, if you're like me and you are planning to write a romance, or even if your story isn't a romance novel, but you have a romance subplot within your novel, I would highly suggest checking out Romancing the Beat by Gwen Hayes. She is a romance author, and she's taken the beats that are specific for romance novels and put that into a kind of beat sheet. It's very short. It gets just right to the point. It's not very complicated. I would very much suggest reading it if you have not, but it's really helpful to know sort of how these types of beats will fit into a romance novel. So I'm currently reading this and sort of refreshing myself on some of the ideas and the beats and the concepts provided here. I'm also going to reread Romancing the Beat again to just sort of refresh my memory. I've read it several times before, and then I'm going to get to work on that outline so that my story will fit into the typical story pattern that readers are expecting. The second thing I want to do during Preptober is to get some idea of the characters in my story and to work on the character foundations. I find that I write the best characters when I don't necessarily know a whole lot about them going into it, if that makes any sense. If I try to do a huge like character profile where I'm answering every question about their entire history and their favorite color and their favorite food on Fridays and like that kind of thing, like that's way too much detail, and a lot of the answers to those kind of questions I don't really care about necessarily. So I like to sort of discover the characters as I write, but I do like to have a sense of their general personality, as well as what they want, what they need, what they fear, what they truly desire, what their motivations are, those kind of like internal details of the character. I do want to have that very well fleshed out before I start. So a general personality sketch for the characters, at least the main two characters that I have in mind, I want to have that fleshed out and ready to go. The third thing that I would really like to have done in October are the pep talks that I'm planning to post on my channel. I'll go into more detail in another video later in the month about my plans for the channel in November, but one of the things that I am planning to do is to post some very short pep talks every Saturday. And I'm talking short, like 2 or 3 minutes long, not like a huge thing, but something that I'll post at the end of each week to hopefully encourage and motivate people to keep going in the challenge of NaNoWriMo. However, I do not want to be bogged down creating videos like that during November when my real focus should be on writing. So I want to have those pep talks outlined, filmed, edited, uploaded. I want to have the thumbnails done. I want to have like them all ready to go so that I don't have to worry about trying to do that and do writing and the other things I have planned for the channel all in November. I think that will be way too much. I'm going to try to get it done during October. I really hope I can do those because I think they would be just a nice little pep talk for everyone. But if I can't get that done in October, I am willing to just put that idea aside and do it next year maybe, because again, I really don't want November to be about video making necessarily. I want it to be about writing. So those are the goals. How am I planning to complete all of this stuff within the next 30 days or so? So the first thing I'm going to do is brain dump ideas. I've had this story that I'm planning to do in mind since I think July. And when I say story, I mean the absolute most bare bones premise that you can possibly imagine. It isn't even, I don't even know what the conflict is going to be at this point. I just have the really basic idea for the types of characters that it's going to have and their industry. I'll get more into the exact idea a little again in another video later this month. So the first thing I need to do is just brain dump some ideas. I do have some sort of tangential ideas going on and I just need to get it all out on paper. So that's the first thing I'm going to do. Secondly, I need to brainstorm the conflict. You can't write a very good book if there's not a conflict, right? So I need to figure out what the conflict between these characters is going to be, what's going to attract them to each other, but also keep them apart, because of course that's part of a fun romance novel. It is going to be a contemporary romance, and the industry in which it's going to take place is going to require a little bit of research on my part. I do want to do some of that during Preptober as well. The next thing I'm going to need to do is to start thinking of scenes and where they would fit into the outline. So I'm going to need things like an inciting incident. I'm going to need a plot twist or two. I'm going to need a midpoint, all that kind of stuff. So I need to get that thought through and figured out and where those scenes would end up in the novel. I'm also going to be working on the character profiles. Again, I'm not doing super deep dive into the characters at this point. I just want the general idea of who they are and their motivations, their wants and needs, that kind of thing. In order to get those pep talk videos up, I will need to do some outlining, some extra video filming and that type of thing during October. So I am planning to get that done. Again, those are going to be pretty short. I'm thinking like 2 or 3 minutes a piece and there's 4 of them. So I don't think that should take a huge amount of time, but I do want to make sure that they are done and edited and ready to go. The next thing I want to do is to block off time in my schedule for different Nano events. Now, obviously this year, there's not necessarily going to be anything in person. There will be virtual events and that kind of thing. So as those events start getting scheduled on the NaNoWriMo website or through other groups that I have locally, I want to schedule those into my calendar and figure out where they are and when they're going to be and all that kind of stuff. And to block off that time so I know, okay, Saturday at 7 p.m. I'm going to be on this live stream or whatever it might be. Next is to decide a general writing schedule for myself. I tend to have quite a bit of free time during my normal work week and certainly on the weekends, but I want to make sure I have intentionally blocked off periods of time during the day, whether it's in the morning or right after work or in the evening, to work on my story. The last thing that I am planning to do in October for Preptober is to announce my intentions to participate in NaNoWriMo. I will obviously be posting things on YouTube and Instagram, but I'm also planning to post on my own personal Facebook page. I think that just kind of gives me a little bit of motivation and accountability with friends and family who don't follow me here or don't follow me over on Instagram. I like to kind of keep them posted about my word count and generally how the month is going. So usually sometime in October, I like to make a formal kind of announcement saying, hey, I'm gonna be doing this thing again. And then family and friends always post like, tell us what you're writing and show us your writing and we want to see your writing. And I'm like, I don't, nope. No. So that is my plan for Preptober. Obviously, by the time this video goes up, it is going to be almost a week into October, so I will already have started some of these things. Let me know in the comments below, what are you doing or what are you not doing for Preptober? Do you enjoy this month of preparation? Does it not really mean anything to you? What do you think? Tell me in the comments what your plans are. If you have anything specific that you want to make sure you get done this month, let us know and keep me posted on your progress. I'm gonna have different Preptober and NaNoWriMo themed videos going up this month. I think for the most part, I have a few other videos that aren't necessarily nano related, but a lot of them will be. So I hope that you're excited for those. If you want to make sure you see those as soon as they're posted, go ahead and click the subscribe button. I post videos on Tuesdays and Fridays. You can also follow me over on Instagram at Meredith Phillips Writes. Thank you so much for joining me today. Bye. Are you gonna go find Tilly? You wanna go back? Yeah.